everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Got the blue collar, got the beard going on for No Shave November, and we are talking about wine for comfort food. The weather has been absolutely amazing for November, but still it's getting cool now. Last night was pretty cold. Starting to get colder out there. So we're talking about comfort food: stew, spaghetti, lamb, ham, pot roast, all that stuff. What are you going to have with it? Well, we are going to look at 3 Chianti Classicos. And I'm excited about this because I have not tried these, and I actually have some empty spaces in my Italian set, and I'm looking for a couple of Chiantis to put in there. So this is kind of a twofold thing. You guys get to see what these are about, and I get to see whether any of these qualify to get into the store. Classico is the region between Florence and Siena. It's a big area in Chianti, one of the oldest wine-producing regions in Italy, or specifically in the Chianti region. There's other sub-regions in Chianti, but Chianti Classico has to be at least 80% Sangiovese, and then they use Caniola. And there's another one I can't ever remember the name of it. I should be able to, but I don't. Caniolo is probably the most used one. But now also, they can use Cab or Merlot. So they've changed the rules just a little bit, probably to fight out the super Tuscan producers in Maremma area and other areas where they just do Cab, Merlot, and Sangiovese. They call them super Tuscans. Well, now they can use some of that, but it has to be at least 80% Sangiovese. So this is the 2015 Santa Cristina Chianti Superiore. This is not Classico, it's Superiore. So they're not 3 Chianti Classicos. A little bit different designation. So just calling it Chianti, it can come from several areas outside of the Chianti Classico region. So they call this Chianti Superiore. This rolls in at $14. Santa Cristina. I believe Chateau Saint Michel has an investment in Santa Cristina. I believe they do. Let's see what we get on the nose. Classic cherry, tobacco, a little bit of baked earth. A little bit of red flowers coming through. I'm getting a little touch of vanilla, which is interesting. Let's see what we get on the palate. Typical Chianti palate, very rusty. I get like rusty nails, like rusty, just rust. Cherries, cranberries, and rust. A little bit of leather. This baby is rusty and highly acidic. There's an interesting chocolate note that comes through on the mid palate. This is like the perfect little Chianti. It's a Superior, man. It's not a Classico. I got mistaken. I forgot I had a Superior in the lineup. So it doesn't necessarily have to be 80% Sangiovese. It probably is. It tastes like a lot like Sangiovese. But just these wines really are perfect for washing down a bowl of spaghetti. Anything with a red pasta sauce. These are perfect for it. The high acid, that rustiness, all of those just seem to marry really well with that sort of meal. And with lamb, of course. Lamb is a good one to have with this. Stews, anything like that. These are perfect little red table wines. However, that being said, if you're having somebody over and you don't know what they like, I wouldn't serve this because it is highly acidic and very rusty on the palate. A little bit of you get a little bit of that old world kind of, it's not poop, but you get a little barnyardy on the backside, right on the back of the mid palate. Classic Italian wine. I know a lot of guys that would love this wine. I have a lot of friends who like this style. I like it with food. Once again, as I mentioned in prior videos, if you're sitting down watching the Super Bowl, watching a bowl game, or whatever you're doing, yeah, you wouldn't just sit down and slug this down. But I do like that kind of chocolate note on the mid palate. That's kind of cool. I'm going to go C+ on this wine. I think it's a little better than average. I think $14 is a fair price. I'll go C+. Let's move on. The Chianti Classico 2015. This rolls in at $20. Chianti Classico. Now this has a rooster on the back. Pretty cool. That rooster. It's an old story where they had these territorial battles and they were trying to find out a way to kind of solve it without getting fighting. So they, the first time the rooster crowed, the people took off. They took their fastest riders to see if they could get to Siena. I believe it was Siena. Anyway, that's kind of the story. That's where the rooster came from. I think Gallo sued them for using the rooster. They had to take it off. It's back on. It's on this one, so not sure what's going on there. $20. Chianti Classico, at least 80% Sangiovese. This is the area between Florence and Siena. Let's see what we get on the nose. Usually when you get into Classicos, you tend to get a little bit more quality out of them. Very earthy on the nose, like dirt and cherries and a little bit of tobacco, a little bit of like dried wood. This is like, you know, forest floor, but like a dry forest floor is what I'm trying to say. $20. Let's see what we get on the palate. Solid wine. Solid wine. Smooth tannins, but they have a little edge to them like you'd expect out of the world. A little bit of minerality underneath. Definitely dark cherries coming through, but they're so balanced with the earthiness. I mean, it's just this nice little marriage of earth, dirt, dark cherries. I get a little violet note coming through. On the backside, you get like that crushed rock thing going on. Solid wine. Now, I dare say that I might just drink this by itself. It has that smoothness, that richness that I like in a red wine. But this is a solid wine. Leather. This even has a touch, just a hair of chocolate lying underneath that earth and fruit. I like this wine. Seamless across the palate, shows that old world. I mean, it says, yeah, I'm from the old world, but guess what? I got some fruit, earth. It's so nice. Really well made Chianti. Really well made Chianti. I like this. This baby. I'm gonna go A-. Solid. It's a solid Chianti Classico. Now, that may make it into the store. This is the Marchesi Antinori 2014 Pepoli Chianti Classico. This rolls in at $24. Check it. I'm impressed. I love it when you get an old world wine that just has just enough fruit to give it a little bit of polish, but it still has that nice earthy, dirty thing that you expect out of those wines. That's very cool. I love it. Very excited about that. if the price wasn't up there so much. I mean, you know, I do a pick of the month every month in the store. I stack it at the end of the aisle. I write up about it. I try to keep it under 15 bucks. I mean, 20 bucks is a little steep, but that's a solid Chianti Classico. We can't just say Chianti, you know, like Hannibal Lecter. We have to say Chianti Classico for these because that means something in those countries. I know, like here, we say Reserva for everything is a reserve. You know, really, that's just a bunch of BS. I know they have different levels, and I suppose the winemaker likes to put that on there because it's his special wine. But the regulations are really sloppy here in the U.S. with that term. But in Chianti, Classico means a lot. It means a huge amount, as obvious from the Superior to the Classico. I think they say Rufina, another region in Chianti, is probably closest to Classico as you're going to get in quality. So it's fairly light. I can see the table through the glass. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has like a, oh, what's that? Umami sort of nose, you know, like that Worcestershire sauce, maybe soy sauce. Definitely getting leather and, like, once again, dried forest floor. I get a very slight hint of cherries coming through. Yeah, let's see what we get on the palate. Home run, baby. 2 in a row. 2 in a row. Pepoli. Chianti Classico. This is a little lighter than the second one, than the Checky, but solid, like red cherries. A little bit of, what I like about this one, at the end, you get a little bit of a citrus, like an orange citrus peel note coming through. Very earthy, just like the first one, but it gets a nice little pop, like those red cherries really pop. It's almost like a blend of red cherries and flowers right on the mid palate, and it kind of peaks. It has a nice little peak in the middle that really kind of is very interesting, very delicious. A little strawberry joins the cherries and the red flowers. Then it finishes like the other one. You get that kind of crushed rock, smooth. I mean, crushed rock is not smooth, don't get me wrong. But it's just got some interesting, it's very nice complexity. You know, it kind of really does a lot of stuff in the mouth. It dances around, it stays light. You could drink this solo if you wanted to. I wouldn't. I think all of these are food wines. The second one more so than this one as far as solo wines go. When I say solo, I mean without food, just enjoying. Some use the word cocktail wines. That to me is more like apothic, red, that sort of thing. A classic example of a wine that doesn't have to be big, juicy, powerful wine to express itself and give you solid flavors. I went A- on the Checky. I'm gonna bump this up to A and go A- on this one because this is solid. They're both home runs. A-, A-, 24 bucks. They're both very well priced. I like them both. My favorite of the bunch, of course, is the Checky. I like that. So, Lauren, if you're watching, which one of these wines did I like the best? And what is your best chances of maybe getting it in the store? You let me know, and you get it. Well, not really. I'm gonna bring this in the store no matter what. But you know, just see if she's watching. solid wine, solid Chiantis. First one, Chianti Superior, showed exactly what you would expect. Great wines. Thanks for taking a little bit of time out of your day. Subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. It means a lot to me when you do that. And hit the bell if you want to, see what's coming next. Hit me up on Twitter, Stan the Wine Man, and Instagram, same handle, Stan the Wine Man. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.